Yay Networks.
You're listening to the Chatty Daddies podcast.
Welcome to the Chatty Daddies,
a podcast from three dads who think that they are parenting experts.
And we're not parenting experts, by the way, but today one of us had to have two, well, at least me, but one of us had to have not one, but two conversations with their kids about two very different but important topics, and we got more for you this episode.
But of course, we are only 1 week away from the Super Bowl.
And are we excited about the matchup? The Kansas City Chiefs facing off against Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I could not be any more excited. These are my two favorite players in the league right now. My favorite quarterback right now is Patrick Mahomes, favorite player, and all-time favorite quarterback has Tom Brady, man. How could you go wrong with that guy? That guy's doing things that nobody imagined possible.
I wanted it to be the complete opposite. I wanted to watch Bills-Packers. That was what I was hoping for.
Really?
And I knew, if I was going to put money down, I knew that it was going to be Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. But I don't know. I love Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is my guy. He's so cool. He's so calm, collected.
He seems douchey to me.
That's fine. I'm kind of douchey myself.
Who isn't douchey?
Yeah, well,
Everybody got a little bit.
if you think Tom Brady's not douchey,
Yeah, right.
He's not.
what?
He's not douchey.
I think that he's got a little douche in him.
But he's earned it. He's
an-
earned his douche amount.
He's an unbelievable quarterback, and he's about to... What I was thinking was, what does this guy have left to do in football? He's got nothing left. He's won 6 Super Bowls. He's... all of the records are his. He's the greatest of all time already, without ever debating it, really. And now, I found out he can do something else.
Yeah.
He can win the Super Bowl in his home stadium. Never been played before in the home stadium of the team that's playing in the Super Bowl, and now he can win it. And just be like, yeah, I just do everything.
Plus, how would you like your whole career? Somebody's telling you, let's say, Trey, you're only a great podcaster because you're on a team with Nick and JC, and that's all you hear for 20 years. And this dude finally had enough and said, okay, everybody thinks my coach is the reason why I've done so well my entire career. Let me leave and go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
Who nobody thought had a chance.
they didn't even make the playoffs last year, right? And he not only took them from a playoff contender, he made them go all the way to the Super Bowl as a wild card team. Like, they barely even made it into the playoffs, because the Saints ended up winning their conference. I mean, their division. So, I mean, the guy's, I think he's done it all. I don't think he needs anything else. I think he could win this one and call it a career, and he'd be set.
All right, so give me a prediction, Nick. I'm going to let you lead this one off since you're a football
I'm going to
expert.
say Tom Brady's Buccaneers are going to win. I'm not good at math. I'm going to say they're going to win by 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
By 14, okay.
And JC?
I'm going with the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is once again your Super Bowl MVP, and I believe the Chiefs will win. Man, I'm going 31-28.
Ooh, I like these numbers. Those are pretty good. I'm going to go 35-21 Chiefs.
Okay.
You go for back-to-back Super Bowls for Patrick Mahomes, and you get the changing of the guard from the greatest of all time to the guy that might make a run at his 6 Super Bowl rings with one team.
Yeah. The future greatest of all time.
Can we say I'm not looking forward to any of the entertainment?
No, we
Don't care at all about the weekend?
No, I don't know who does.
Who are you to think you're so special to not have an E in weekend at the end? Let's
the
put
most
an E in there.
popular letter of the alphabet.
E is not the most
probably
popular.
the most popular.
Whoa.
By far, bro.
Listen, if you want to Google it right now.
I'm sure it might be
Google-
used
okay,
more.
what does popular mean?
I don't know.
No,
I mean,
hold on.
no. What's
If you're
most
saying
popular
use,
soda?
you're saying use, okay? Because there was a lot of girls that hooked up with a bunch of guys in high school, but they weren't deemed the most popular girls, right? But they were used quite a bit by a bunch of dudes. So,
hey,
it's not use. It's who likes it the most.
Tom Brady may be the best player of all time in football, but his jersey is not always the most popular every year. You can have something popular and be the best different.
I'm looking at BuzzFeed, and that's where I go for most popularity articles.
Sure.
And I asked for the, what's the best letter in the alphabet? And they ranked all 26 letters of the alphabet for us, and BuzzFeed.com has A at number 1.
Thank you.
All right,
Yeah.
so if you just Google most popular letters in the alphabet, E comes up first.
I mean, it might be used the most.
What did we start? What were we talking about?
I mean, popularity and best might not be the same thing. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Like if you're going to the movie theater, you could see, I don't know, the number one movie in America for the last few weeks has been Croods.
Sure.
That doesn't mean it's the best movie in the movie theater. There might be better quality movies. It's just more people have paid to see the other one.
And also, Nick, let's not forget that, yes, maybe E is used a lot, like Trey says. In fact, he says and claims that it's used the most. But we don't have a choice because we didn't create words. We have to use the letter E in certain words. We cannot change it.
The Weeknd decided he was going to use E a little less. If we're going to go down this road of making me mad, I've had something stuck in my craw for a week now.
What'd I do?
You guys were, yes, it was Nick. Y'all were like, let Quay cry it out. Just let him cry it out. It's not going to scar him. Don't let him self-soothe. What is the pacifier for in the first place? You gave Ellie a pacifier. One,
and now she's done
for
with
what?
it. To self-soothe.
To self-soothe with the pacifier? That's not self-soothing. That's using a tool to get her to soothe.
But as you grow up, you stop doing certain things.
So right now, I'm still in the stage of picking him up when he cries. And we'll move on from that, like you're moving on from the pacifier. I've been thinking about it all week long. Anyway, how's Ellie?
Ellie's great. While we're talking about cribs, fellas, we had the big day where, yes, she has officially climbed out of her crib.
Ooh.
And she walked. We thought it was nap time. She crawled out, opened the door, walked in while my wife and I were taking a nap, and there she was. And it was like, well, what's going on? Because we did not hear her crying. We did not hear her, shuffling around her crib. We did not hear her climb out. We did not hear her plop on the floor.
Sure.
Didn't hear the door open. Nothing. The monitor never came on. And there she was. So, yeah, she's crawling out. And she's mentioned to us that she kind of bumped her head on the way out.
Oh.
So we don't know how she did it. We don't know which end of the crib she flung herself out of. But yeah, so now we're looking for big kid beds.
So how tall are we talking here? It's 2.5 feet or so?
It's probably what, a 3.5 foot fall, I would guess. Yeah. 3 foot fall maybe. So yeah, I don't know if she just like put her stomach on the rail and then just
slid,
hurled herself over, like leaned over like she's a gymnast,
right,
or something, like on the not parallel bars. What's the uneven bars?
That's
what it is.
Bars,
the uneven bars?
Yeah, the uneven.
Maybe doing that, which isn't the most popular sport in the Olympics, but it's probably the best. The uneven bars.
Well, I forget what my argument was, but it is for sure not the E of Olympic
Yeah, I don't know.
sports.
I was just trying to be an idiot. So yeah, that was a big deal. So we got to look for things, that wasn't on our list of things for maybe within this year, sure. But we were just going to try and keep her in her crib for a little bit. But we put my son in his big boy bed at 2.
Yeah.
And my daughter just turned 2, so it's
What
about
size
time, I
bed
guess.
did you get Davis, by the way? What's he rocking?
Look, you might call it tacky,
Okay.
but it's awesome. I think it's moved past tacky to just kind of funny. Race car bed.
Of course, love it. Have to.
I wanted one so bad when I was a little kid. So bad.
It's bright red. It's a Corvette. He loves it.
I love it. I can get it right now.
And honestly, guys, I have taken a lot of naps in that race car bed.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
good.
love every second of it.
So twin size then, right?
I guess it's a twin.
Quick side note about race car beds. There's a guy that took a Lamborghini body and turned it into a king size bed.
Oh my
that's
God.
Pretty
that's my
dope
favorite
as an
dude.
adult, but also a douche.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very.
I mean, imagine bringing a girl home and she sees your Lamborghini bed. She's automatically going to think you're a douchebag. But we got Kaysen. He wanted the race car bed, and then we saw a freaking bunk bed at IKEA, and he wanted that. So he got, and it's a full-size bed, which is way bigger than I ever had. I don't think Kinsey and I even had a full-size bed until probably we were dating for about 2 years because I had a futon. My daughter has a queen size.
What? A queen size bed?
Yeah, bro.
What,
Because
tell me it was just like yours that you passed on to her so you didn't have to buy a new mattress.
it was because
Okay,
Kinsey and
good.
we upgraded to a king size bed because we wanted a king size. It felt good. We
Absolutely.
liked it. Got ourselves a big ass bed, and so we passed the queen size down to my daughter. But we never thought about my son one day realizing, wait a minute, this chick has a bed twice the size of mine.
Sure.
And way more comfortable. In fact,
And
I'll
she's
go up.
younger than me.
And she's younger than him. So I don't know if you're going to take that into consideration when you get Ellie a new bed, because my son notices.
So he noticed now, and what's the argument? Has he come to you about this?
Yeah, he's like, how come Chloe gets a bigger bed?
And your answer?
And my answer is, well, technically, you have a bigger bed. It's just split up because he has a bunk bed. So I was like, you got a full size at the bottom and a twin at the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
That equals at least a king size bed. So you're winning.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that.
It's a darn good argument.
He
sir.
can have friends stay the night. Like, he can have one friend in his bed with him and then another one sleeping above him. He can have
Exactly.
more people over.
Did you guys ever, when you had a sleepover, if you slept in the same bed as your friend, did you do the foot to
Head.
Yeah,
I don't think I did.
I didn't either.
I did.
It was never really like I might kiss this guy if his head's up here. You got to get your head all the way down.
Yeah,
there,
I got me drunk on that grape juice and fruit snacks before bed. What you
know
doing,
it, bro.
Eric?
Oh, man.
But my wife and I, we were debating back and forth because there's a lot of really neat kind of princessy looking beds, and they're not bunk bed. They're kind of loft where the mattress is elevated up high, and then there's just kind of space underneath for maybe a desk or for something else. And some of them have slides that come off of it
Awesome.
and stuff. And she was all on board with it, but I was like, our daughter's already jumping out of her crib. Do we want to get her something that's even higher off the ground?
Yeah.
For her to stumble out of at night or something? I'm trying to fight for on the ground level bed.
So we have a crib that's like a convertible crib. So we have a part of the side rail I can take off and then put on the other piece that came with the whole
Yeah, it's
crib.
like a little
and turns it into-
bumper thing.
Yeah, is that like weird for a 2-year-old to have?
No,
You
not
just
at all.
wanna go.
We also have that.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to decide, are we going to do that or not? You know, are we just
transition.
should we just go ahead and get her the bed she's going to use for another 5-6 years?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or are we just going to, get the $100 piece that we need to bring it down, bring one rail down so it's just opens it up as a real bed? We don't
Wait a
know. We
minute.
don't know what we're doing yet.
You said for the next 5-6 years, my kids are going to be in that bed till they graduate.
Right. I
Maybe,
was gonna
but like
say-
if my daughter gets like a frilly princessy bed,
Oh, yeah.
and like my kid, I'm hoping doesn't want a race car bed for another 10 years, but if he does, whatever.
You'll want to keep that because whenever he turns like 15, he'll want to be like the funny guy that has
The funny guy with the race car bed. Yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad idea. I grew up with a twin size bed. I got the option, and I chose a twin size bed because I wanted more room in the actual room to put like a couch. I had it was a futon and a cot, not cot. It looked like a cot. It was a futon and a twin size bed, so that then I could have like a place to hang out with all my friends and play video games. So I didn't need the big bed. What did y'all grow up with?
Oh, here we go.
King size bed.
Are you serious?
Swear.
Why? That's
What the
unfair.
It's not. Well, we moved in. My brother and I shared a room with bunk beds for a long time. And then my brother moved into his own room, which was like our playroom. So he moved into that room and just got like a pool, like a we called them trundle beds. Is that what they got? Is that the thing?
Is it
Where,
the
like
one
there's a
you
bed
pull out?
underneath the bed?
Yeah.
So he had that. And then my parents were just getting a new mattress. So I got their old one and it was a king size bed.
Oh, you got
and
the Chloe
The
treatment.
room was pretty big.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I had a king
Well,
size bed.
let's go back down to earth with me because my bed was no, I did have a bed. It was a twin size, but my mom would get our mattresses from motels.
Oh.
Okay.
Because I don't know how she found out about this, or I think one of her friends used to work as a cleaning lady at a motel. And so apparently the motels would bring in new mattresses every, 5 years or so. So they would sell off the old ones. I don't know who the hell was buying these. Oh, I know, my mom. And so she bought it. I think it was like $20. And I got a twin size bed from a motel. And so that was my bed until I graduated from high school. And then in college, I had that little fold-over couch type bed, the futon, until my mom once again told me, hey, the motels are having another sale. And I almost went, except one of my buddies said he found a mattress. And he's like, yo, I can bring a mattress back to the spot. And I said, yeah, grab it, because my mom's trying to get me one from a motel. So he brought it back, put it up in the bunk bed we lived in the fraternity house at the time, put it up in the bunk bed, put the sheets on it for me. I was like, dude, this is nice. This is like what they do to people in prison when they respect them. So I was like, that's cool of you. Dude, when I moved out of the fraternity house after that summer, I took the sheets off because, in college, we don't clean. We don't clean ever.
Nope.
Never. No way.
You didn't clean the sheets once?
No, bro, I'm in college. It was just the summer that I lived in there.
Crunchy.
I took the sheets off. Kinsey was helping me move, by the way. And as soon as we took the sheet off, I was astonished at the amount of blood that was on this. It was old blood. I think
Kinsey was like, what other girl have you had in this bed?
Right. No, she was like, did somebody get murdered? So I asked my friend, I was like, dude, did you not notice
you did last night.
I asked my boy, I was like, dude, did you not notice the blood stain on this mattress? And he goes, yeah, but it was free, bro.
Yeah. Way better mattress than the motel mattress.
Like, you need to tell your friends if you're going to give them a bloody mattress. Again, I don't know if it was blood or not, but it definitely looked like a big old blood stain. Like somebody had bled on that thing.
I don't think I washed my sheets freshman year in my dorm. I maybe washed them once or twice. But JC, you had to talk to your children. 2 kids,
Dude.
2 different conversations, but they were very important.
Yeah, and it was. I know these were conversations that we're all going to have as parents eventually. I just didn't know it was going to happen in one weekend. But my son and I were in the car, and he really likes DaBaby right now. That's his favorite rapper, and in fact, his favorite song is one called "Bop." But normally, I have it on the edited version of the song. But this time, it wasn't. It was unedited, and DaBaby likes to throw some curse words out there, and before I could gather myself and switch the song, an N-bomb was dropped in the song.
Oof.
And my son...
And boy, I would much rather hear like a hard F word than the N word with
sure.
a 9-year-old in the car.
Right. And so I remember he just kind of looked at me and he goes, wait, Papa, is that the N word? And I said, yeah, that is the N word. And I was like, how have you heard of the N word? And he goes, kids at school just talk about the N word, but I've never heard it. That was the first time I heard it, but I figured that I didn't recognize that voice. And he just kind of put it together. And I was like, yeah, that's the N word. And he goes, is it worse than the F word? And I said, yes. I said, yes. And I told him, I was like, listen, man, if you ever say any curse words, I understand that you're probably going to curse one day. You're going to say an F-bomb. You're going to say the S word one day, probably the B word. When you get older, you're going to try to be cool with your friends. But I said, I beg you to never, ever, ever say that word. That is the one word that if I ever find out you said, I will be extremely heartbroken and disappointed in you, because that word has caused a lot of pain to a lot of people, mostly black people in the past. And he says, is that why I heard a black guy say it? And I said, yeah. And then it gets into the realm of why are they saying it in these songs
right.
and not, and we can't say it. And I told him, listen, that's because that's a word that they took the power. They took the power away from racist people, which that's who says it to them. They took the power from them, and they choose to use it in art form. And although some don't think it's okay, some use it, and that's just the way it is in their community in the hip hop world. And he took it pretty well. I think I didn't know how to go about talking about it, but I think letting him know that was the one word that we definitely are not allowed to say as humans. Hopefully sticks around, and hopefully I got the message across, because I nothing scares me more than to maybe hear that my kids one day say something that hurtful, right? Yeah. And so I felt like I was okay with that. I don't know if I went about it the right way, but hopefully I did. Again, there's no right or wrong answer with this. No, there is a right answer. Just don't ever say it. But yeah, I don't know if I said it right.
What I'm concerned with, and I know us 3 are probably not the best people to debating the who can and can't say the N-word. That's not really our area of expertise.
Yeah, right.
I know I can't. But I get on TikTok. I'm addicted to TikTok. And every day there's some dance, and it's some, college girl or high school person doing a dance with the worst language, right. N-words all over the place. And it's some surfer chick from California.
Right.
Who's, I see it as like almost mocking it. And it's just like, I feel like that word is losing its power, which maybe is a good thing for
right.
some people to see. But then at the same time, to see some white girl awkwardly dancing to that song, I don't think does that word justice.
Right. When you can
I don't know.
Something
it's just a weird. I feel like it's going to be kind of a confusing thing for younger people when they're seeing this in media.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys remember the first time you heard it. I remember I was about his age when I started noticing that word, and obviously I was still learning English and the language, but my parents didn't even know what that word meant because we were from Mexico. So I never got to have that conversation. I literally had to learn that on the street, and I lived in a neighborhood where that was being thrown around by all the kids. I was in a predominantly black neighborhood when I first moved to the States. So I heard that word a lot. I just didn't know the impact it had if somebody with my skin color or skin tone would say it. Luckily, I never did, and I never found out, and I had a teacher that explained it to us when we were that young. But yeah, my son gave me that one, and then on top of that, my daughter brings up the whole, I'm sure you guys saw the JoJo Siwa news. JoJo Siwa came out as LGBTQ+. She doesn't have a label, but she came out and said she has these feelings. And Nick, my daughter loves TikTok, and we were watching some TikToks, and we came across somebody saying how courageous JoJo Siwa was and how awesome it was for her to finally be her true self. And my daughter looked at me and she goes, "Wait, what did JoJo Siwa do?" Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, so we're going to talk about this. I told her, well, JoJo Siwa, there are people that, are born a certain kind of way. And like we had an Aunt Bonnie. Luckily, she already was introduced to this. And I was like, she's like Aunt Bonnie. And she goes, oh, so she can have a girlfriend. And I said, yeah, she can, she if she chooses to, if she wants to be with a girl, if she likes a girl, then yeah, she might have a girlfriend one day. And these are weird because she's 7, so I don't know how much she understands of this again, right? And she goes, well, do you get to pick who you're with? Did you have to be with mommy? She starts asking me these in-depth questions, and I was like, yeah, as a human, whatever you are wanting to go towards, that's who you end up dating and hopefully marrying one day. And she goes, and so JoJo Siwa can do that with girls? And I said, anybody could do that with girls. And she goes, okay. And what about boys? And I said, yeah. And those are when boys like boys, those are called gay men. And she goes, oh, like Justin. We work with a guy who is. And so she already knew. Like I had never told her that our friend Justin was. And she picked it up and she looked at me and she goes, so she was courageous or she was brave? And I said, yeah, because unfortunately, some people look down on them when they do that and they're not treated the right way. And she goes, why? And I said, I don't know, baby, because there's a lot of hate in the world and people just don't understand something and they go towards hate when they don't understand. And so, but I said, but we understand and we know that they're human and we know that she's a great person and that she's going to be happy now. And she goes, good.
And your daughter used to be a huge fan of JoJo Siwa. Is she still?
Not really. She outgrew that because little girls started making fun of the bows at school. Once that happens at school, I think school ruins a lot of your kids' innocence. Yeah. When they get older, And so because of that, she stopped liking it. But I catch her listening to a couple songs. She still listens to Boomerang and High Top Shoes from time to time. But she's not an avid fan like she used to be. She's not asking me to go on to the shows or to watch her videos anymore.
Yeah, I've tried having. Not tough conversations, but I've laid some groundwork. Right. My son is 4. A lot of stuff just goes over his head. I'll try and tell him something serious, and he's moved on to wanting a snack. Like, he's not really there for serious conversations. But, yeah, we've said before, some people have one mommy. Some people don't have a daddy. Some people have a mom and a dad. Some people have a dad and a dad or a mom and a mom. It's all different. Some people just their grandparents raised them. It's all different. He's never questioned us about that, but we've just kind of put that out there.
Yeah, and I think it helped a lot that, our aunt was, she was a lesbian lady. She passed away a couple years ago, but she was awesome, and she was really in touch with Chloe and Kaysen. And then at Kaysen School, there's one of our buddies that plays football with us. He has 2 moms. So my kids have been really introduced to this to the point where it's like no big deal. She just had a question about JoJo Siwa, so it wasn't like she didn't see anything wrong with it. It was I'm just like, I just want love, and that's what they keep seeing. I was just taken back that I had to have these 2 conversations this weekend, just back to back, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Did you go through what you would say to them when these questions inevitably came up, or were these just out of the blue and you're trying to make sure that you say the right thing on the spot?
It was out of the blue, Trey, and I think we've all had that. In certain situations as a parent, I think you're already kind of ready for for the sex talk.
Right.
Maybe
that's what you know is coming at some point.
But I didn't. I kind of had a little bit for the LGBTQ plus because Chloe's already kind of lived it, so that wasn't as tough. I just basically told her it's about love. But with the Kaysen one, no, bro, I hadn't even thought about that one.
Well, luckily that one is a fairly easy one in 2021. I would think is I have no reason to ever use the word. Why would I ever need to use it? We don't need to use it anymore.
Right.
If people want to use it in their song, then they can. I myself have no reason to use it, so I stay away from it entirely.
Yeah, but it was weird, man.
We also kind of laid the groundwork just a tiny bit on race this past week. Kamala Harris was elected as vice president, and there was something of the inauguration on the TV, and my son said, like, what's that? And we said, oh, well, that's our new president. We told him Joe Biden's name. We said, and that's our new vice president. And I said, she is the first woman to have that job, and she's the first woman of her color to have that job. And he's like, oh, okay. Like, he kind of got it. But then again, he moved on. But, just try to somewhat lay that groundwork to hopefully make things not too awkward later on.
It was, Nick, we had the same thing because we were watching it, and Chloe, my daughter, was paying attention. And I know we've seen posts of people posting Kamala Harris and going like, this is and it is history in the making, but we got to realize how much our kids are paying attention, because my daughter asked Kinsey, my wife, she goes, wait, so there's never been a vice president that's a woman? And Kinsey said no. And she said, but now there is. Mm-hmm. Yes. And Chloe said, so does that mean I can be president? My daughter thought that she couldn't be president until this happened, apparently.
Oh,
that's right. Yes, you can.
Yeah, right?
You got a queen-size bed. You can do anything.
Exactly. I was like, the whole time I think she thought that only guys could be president, and because of Kamala Harris finally breaking that barrier, now she finally opened her eyes, which is really cool. And something that I was so aloof to that I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think my daughter didn't know that.
Something that has absolutely nothing to do with kids. And, we're not too much of a political show, but I don't know if y'all have seen a meme that's been going around this week, and it has a picture of all the vice presidents throughout history, and then it ends with Kamala Harris, and obviously there's a big difference when you get to the end, the last picture, her, compared to all the other guys. And then someone I saw on TikTok, they went through and they drew a few squares around different guys throughout the series, because they were all lined up in order, all the vice presidents, and they said, up until this guy, Kamala was a slave. Whoa. And then they said, up until this guy, she couldn't vote. Up until this guy, she couldn't have a bank account. And now look at her now. I was like, whoa, that, like, you hear all this, groundbreaking, but that really put it in perspective, like, oh my gosh, we've been around, this country is still fairly young, that there were still, 15 vice presidents before she would even be where she would still be a slave, a free person. Yeah, nuts.
Wow.
Craziness.
When you start thinking about that, and I know it's hundreds of years, but still, it doesn't seem like that long ago where people were mistreated like that.
Pretty is a young country.
It really is.
So was that the two hardest conversations you've had as a father?
It was tough because, again, it's just so much pressure to say the right thing and to make sure you don't say the wrong thing and make them think the wrong thing and have wrong values. I think that it just put a lot of stress on me. And then even afterwards, man, I was just sitting around all day
second guessing everything.
Yeah. I was like, did I tell him this? Should I have said this? Did I treat Chloe's the right way? Is she going to be okay? It's just the pressure that comes afterwards with second guessing yourself as a parent.
Hopefully we don't have to have the conversation of death very soon in my family, but I've kind of had to just prepare myself, me and my wife, like our first conversation about death with our kids might be our dog, and like that might have to be a conversation we have. And so, so I've just kind of had to sort of prepare myself for whatever that might be, and hopefully not next week, but at some point it's going to happen.
How's your dog now?
My dog's 9, about to be 9, and she's a golden retriever. They normally live like 13-ish, 12 to 14 maybe. So, got 3 or 4 more years left, and that might be their first round of death to talk about. Right.
Well, it sounds like you handled it pretty well, JC.
Thanks,
but
Trey.
If we want to do something a little more fun, we can get to some fan letters.
Yes, let's switch gears.
Let's do that, because I have one right here, and it says, Trey talked about his Owlet sock.
Right, yeah, it's a great invention. you put it onto your kid's foot, and it's like a sock, but it's this little Velcro strap you wrap around either one of your child's foot, and it'll measure their oxygen level and it'll measure heart rate.
From anywhere in the house, right?
From you have to be within a certain range, but yeah, pretty much. So he's across the house right now. We have the base station right in between us, and if something goes wrong with your kid in the middle of the night, it'll alert you if his oxygen level drops too low, if his heart rate's too high, too low, anything like that, so you can go running in there.
Has it ever gone off for y'all?
It's only gone off to say that there's a disconnection.
Oh,
okay, good.
So there's no real
scary.
trouble.
Okay, good. Well, Brittany wrote us, Trey, and said, I wanted to share that they do make a super loud alarm sound when it goes red and the baby is out of range.
Yeah, I think I said that it only does like a little twinkle, twinkle, little
right, like a little song.
Star, yeah.
She goes on to say, we brought our son home after he was born this past December, and his oxygen level went down to 79%. That's really low, by the way.
Oh, my.
So it alerted us. It was so scary, but our doctor told us to go to the ER, so we did. His O2 indeed was low, and we ended up in the hospital for 6 days with him on oxygen. Nothing major was wrong, except his lungs weren't developed enough. If it wasn't for that outlet, we may not have known all night long, and it could have been a lot worse. So I'm really thankful for it, and it is so worth the $250. Wow.
Yeah.
If that's not one of the best advertisements you've heard for that thing.
I was going to say, it sounds like we're about to say promo code daddies. We don't have any kind of affiliation with them, but
we will.
Of course. Of course.
If Kinsey gets pregnant again, we are 100% getting this outlet sock, because that is scary.
Awesome.
For new parents, I know it's a lot of money when you're staring down, paying for diapers, paying for
There's
all these
so much
things.
upfront cost.
Yes. I know if you are able to put it on your registry and maybe one of the rich parents, friends, something along those lines, maybe they'll pick it up for you, because it really does give you a little bit of peace of mind.
So recently on our Instagram story, we shared a video of a woman who was frustrated because she told her husband that company was coming over, and she said that he went to go clean the attic. Like, that's not helping anything we're doing. So Alita, she wrote us, and she said her husband does the exact same thing. Alita said, "Hey, honey, I need help with laundry." He went and cleaned out the garage. She needed help with the dishes. Her husband went to organize the back patio. She needed to sweep and mop the house. Her husband decided to design the next home improvement project. So I guess that's a common theme for people.
I'll do what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'll help, but not in the way you want.
Yeah, the husband hears help, so he's helping. Yeah. It might not be exactly what you need, but it's something to
We need
do.
directions as husbands, because I don't know if you guys have been through this before, where your wife will be like, can you help me with cleaning up? And I'll look where she's at. I'll look over where she's doing her thing, and I'm thinking to myself, help with what? Like, it looks good, you know? Like, so I go do some random stuff, and then she gets mad at me because I wasn't helping her there. But I honestly cannot see anything wrong with what's happening, so she needs to tell me better.
So, all right, boys, let's go to the dad of the day before we close this thing out. So I got a little story for you here. Buckle up. This happened back in October, but CNN was just reporting this recently. So get off my back if this is a little dated, okay?
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, but I don't want to hurt your back.
All right, so last fall, a 23-year-old girl...
This happened last fall?
But CNN just reported it.
What is going on?
In January.
Okay.
So a 23-year-old from Illinois, her name was Tally Levin. She graduated from Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, Arizona with a degree in psychology. Pretty cool.
Whoa.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah.
So she walked downstairs in her cap and gown at her parents' house, and she got a big surprise. Her dad, Mike, was walking towards her carrying a degree in a frame, a diploma. Good job.
Very nice,
Way to go. But when she got close to it, she saw that he was wearing a cap and gown, and his name was on the diploma, not hers.
Okay.
So Mike, who's 47, decided 4 years earlier, right as she enrolled, that he was going to enroll at the exact same college and university and secretly take classes the entire time she was taking classes.
Unbelievable.
So he said that he was sitting down to do his first online class right when she was moving into her dorm, like getting settled in herself. He was taking classes. He didn't tell anybody in his family. He didn't tell his wife, his other kids, anything like that. And he said, I really can't explain the reasoning behind the decision other than that on June 6, 2016, I woke up with a premonition that I was going back to school. And so he got a degree in finance and economics. And he said that, so he runs his own staffing company and he just never went to college. He thought his dad started this company. He just went to work for this company. Didn't want to take on the debt, but he decided to do it now. He said the toughest part about everything was during midterms when people in his family, his wife, his kids, his daughters, who were like all in college, they were all having stressful times. So he had to take a break from his midterms to help them with their midterms, and then go back and do his midterms like at night and stuff like that.
Man.
But he kept it up. He said he had a lot of late nights at the computer. When asked what's next, the dad said, definitely no master's degree for me, but my daughter is already on her way towards a master's in psychology, and I'm proud of her.
Wow.
Is that nuts?
That is crazy.
He kept
cool.
that secret from his whole family.
Yeah,
That's cool.
That is cool. What hurts me most is double the tuition.
Oh my gosh. Can you, just for some cute little like, hey daughter, wasn't this sweet? Like it'd be really sweet to just like go on a father-daughter vacation at some point and spend, what it would cost for a few books, college books.
Yeah.
But hey, if you want to do it, hey, higher education is great. You go Grand Canyon University. Good job,
Woo!
Mike.
All right. That is the Chatty Daddies for today. If you want to leave us a review in the podcast app on whatever platform you're using, that would be awesome. Rate and review, please.
Also, hit us up anytime at chattydaddies.com, or you can actually send us a DM. Slip into those DMs at Chatty Daddies on all social media.
And you can also give us a call, leave us a voicemail, shoot us a text at the number listed in the description of this podcast.
The Chatty Daddies Podcast.